Hi everyone, I wanted to tell you about a chicken hat that I'm making for this kind of a coffee pot right here. My sister has one of these, so I borrowed this from a friend. And basically I'm going to make a chicken hat that fits over it to keep it warm. And I wanted to show you what I had done. First of all, let me get my camera in the right position. What I did was decided to cast on 72 stitches, and I began with a knit 4, purl 4, knit 4, purl 4 around for 5 rows, and then I switched and did purl 4, knit 4, purl 4, knit 4 to do a basket weave stitch. And then I went back to the knit and I knit 4, purl 4 and repeated that around. I did 5 rows of the knit and then 5 rows of the purl, but this time I only did 4 rows of the knit. Then I changed from size 6 needles up to a size 8 needle, and I went around the hat 2 rows with the straw, and I figured, well, that looks kind of flat and yucky, so I decided that I wanted to make, I don't know, a bunch of mess, a bunch of these curly Q things to represent the straw that's going to be before the chicken portion. I thought I would show you how to do it, and basically all I'm doing is alternating between a knit stitch and then working with a crochet hook and doing a chain. So I wanted to show you how to do it. I've just done a knit, and what I'm going to do is take a crochet hook. You can use any size you want it, I guess. I just happen to have an H laying by. And what you do is you take the next stitch that's to be knitted off of your left needle and put it on the crochet hook. Make sure that your stitches on your right and left hand needle are pushed back a little. I don't have any protectors. So what I did was I have it on my hook here, and all I'm going to do is chain. I don't know if you know how to chain or not, but you just wrap the hook over and pull it through the loop that was the knit stitch, and you do that as many stitches and chains as you want. I did varying amounts. Sometimes I would do 4, sometimes I would do 10, and just, keep in mind how many that you did. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, or 6 chains. So this being the 6th chain from the hook, I skip that one and I start single crocheting down. So that means I will have 5 to go into. So there's 1 single crochet, and I'm going to do this slow so you can see if you don't know how to crochet. 2, 3, 4, and then this bottom one would be number 5, and then I just pull up a loop, drop the crochet hook, go back over here and put the big loop on the right hand needle so that I can continue on, give it a tug so that we tighten it so that it just looks like a stitch, and then just knit the next stitch. Then we're ready to do it again. I take the crochet hook, insert it into the next stitch, take it off, and then I just start crocheting. There's 1 chain, 2 chains, 3 chains, 4 chains. We'll do 5 this time, which means that we don't count the first one, which is the turning chain. So we have to single crochet and 4. So there's 1, go to the next one, 2, I split my yarn there, here's 3, oh, I'm sorry, I just did that one. The 3rd one is here, and I got kind of tight for some reason. And the next one, 4. Pull up a loop, slide it back on the needle on the right, tighten it slightly, and go to the next one. Just knit the next one. So I figure when I'm done, these little curly things, even though they don't look straight like straw, they will definitely give it a 3D kind of effect, and it'll look like a hen sitting in my container that's going to go over this coffee pot. I will join you later to show you what it looks like. If I come up with any more revelations, I will show those also. Hi and good afternoon. I'm showing you my finished product so far of this, I'm not sure what you call it. I'm calling it a hat for this coffee pot. This is what my sister requested for Christmas. It's something to go over, and so I've got the chicken. So what I've done is, let me get this set. What I've done is knitted the hat so far, and let me get some light on this. And I'm making some eyes. And let's see. I want some big eyes to go on the chicken, and the chicken, my sister has green eyes, so the chicken's going to have green eyes. So we're going to make 2 eyes to go on the chicken. So this video right now is to show you how to make the 2 eyes. So I'm going to set this aside. And those of you who know how to crochet, this should be relatively easy. Let me get this down here and set it so that we can start. Okay, I'm using black and a size I9 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. We're going to put a slip stitch on our hook and then chain 4. And of the eyes, of course, you're going to have to make 2 unless you want a cyclops. And join it in the 4th chain from the hook, which would have been the first chain you made, with a slip stitch. Chain 3. That counts as a double crochet. Now we're going to put 11 more double crochets, so a total of 12 in the ring. And I'm crocheting over my yarn tail. Okay, so we've got 4. I have really bad eyes, so I really can't see when I work with black. That's 9. And let me slide these over a little bit. 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to join in the beginning chain 3 with a slip stitch, and like I said, my eyes aren't very good with dark colors, and black is definitely dark. So join with a slip stitch, and I'm going to pull my yarn tail a little tighter, and I always do an extra chain there, and I'm going to cut my yarn. Okay, now we're going to go on with the next color, which like I said, my sister's eyes are green, so I figured why not use green. And this round, just find any stitch and you can join with the slip stitch. And chain 2, because we're going to be doing half double crochets. So in that same stitch, I need to adjust my light so I have more light. Hopefully it doesn't white out the camera, because working into the black I have a hard time. So in each stitch around we're going to put 2 half double crochets. I'm using this really thick yarn, at least compared to the yarns that I use on a daily basis. It's really thick. It's by Red Heart, and it's called, let me see, something about love, with love. Let me get this going better. Like I said, I have trouble seeing the black. Okay, I think I put that in the wrong place. I hate it when it looks like it's separated because of the joining stitch. So I'm going to put half of it in the front half and I guess half in the last half. But I'm going to crochet over my yarn ends. Well, I'm having trouble seeing the black. I apologize, everybody. Nothing like being blind as a bat. I think I split my yarn there. Let's try one more time. I think I went around it that time. Jeesh, Donna. That time I got it. Okay. I'm going to count and make sure I have 24 half double crochets before I finish it off. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And we're going to join in the top of the beginning chain 2 with a slip stitch. I should be able to see this. I feel like I'm going blind all of a sudden. There we go. Okay, now we're going to be joining white. So let me get my white here. Okay, I'm going to be joining with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and put 2 singles in the same stitch. 1 single in the next stitch, and that's how this whole round will go, is 2 singles and then 1 single, 2 singles and then 1 single. before I get too far, let me make sure that's what I've done. 2, 1, where we go? 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I probably don't need to crochet over all these yarn tails because it's going to be hidden, because once the eye is sewn to the hat, coffee pot hat, whatever you want to call it, I won't need to hide the yarn ends because it'll be, attached. This white color, though, leaves a really long tail. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so I am leaving super long tail. So that's my suggestion for you, because we're going to use the white to attach it. However, I still have the black eyelashes to do. Okay, now we join to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch. And like I said, pull a really long tail. I have no idea how much I'm going to use. I probably am pulling, I don't know, a yard, even though I know that's way too much. But I would hate to run out. So let's go ahead and pull this through. Okay, so now we're going to be doing, well, that flung across the room. Now we're going to be doing the eyelash portion. I'm going to have to refer to this since I just made this up as I was going along. Okay, so it looks like I did 2 singles, 2 halves, and then started doing double crochets. So let's see, over here someplace we'll just join in like the first single of a grouping here, and we'll get our black going. I've got a slip stitch, put it on my hook, and we'll chain 1, and we're going to put 2 singles in the same stitch. You can make your eyelashes as much around the eye as you want. I'm just putting them at the top of the eye. Okay, so we got 2 singles in the first stitch. We're going to, in the next 2 stitches, put a half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to double crochet 2 times. We're going to double in the next 2 stitches. We're going to put 2 doubles in the next stitch. Well, Donna, what'd you do with your yarn? I got my yarn hooked up here wrong, so it's caught on something. And we will double in the next 2 stitches. And we will put 2 doubles in the next stitch. And I'm going to check this out here. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 stitches before I start across doing the decrease. So 2, boy, I can hardly see, 2 singles, 2 halves, so 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Got to get to 18. 15, 16, 2 stitches we did there were doubles. 17, 18 right here. Then we're going to do a half double in the next 2 stitches and 2 singles in the next stitch. Okay, and this can be cut at a regular length. Okay, so we have our eyelashes and both of our eyes, so we can set about attaching them to our project. So I'm just going to show you what I'm thinking of doing. Let me take this off and set this down. I really want the eyes to be up at the top of my project with the eyelash portions not attached. And so that's my plan. I'm going to use these long tails, and I will be working in the outside edges of the white, going into the knit stitches all the way around, and I will show you what it looks like when I get done. I wanted to show you what I was doing right now to attach it. I've never tried to attach anything before, so I'm probably doing it all wrong, but and I had no safety pins or straight pins to hold it in place, so I just took a one of these split ring markers and placed it where I want at the top. And what I'm doing is I am picking up just a couple of the knit strands below the project, but I'm not going all the way through. And then I am coming back up through one of the single crochets, and then, you know, just a short piece more up from it. I'll do it again and continue around, and just thought I would show you how I was doing this. And like I said, I'm probably doing it all incorrect, and there's probably a lot of people who have done this type of a thing before. I've never done it before, so my sister better be happy with this, and I just thought I would show you what I'm doing. That's about it for right now. I'll show you more later. Okay, after I got the first one sewed on, I folded the hat in half and flipped it over, and I matched up the two center of the eyebrows so that they matched, and pinned it on with that stitch holder. And now I'm opening it up to see if it looks good, and oh my god, that is so cute. Okay, so I'm going to slip it on the coffee pot, and I'm going to turn it so that the handle's in the back a second. Okay. That is just adorable. Okay, so if she wants, she can flip it so that the eyes are on the side here, and here's the handle over here, or she can turn it this way. So now the next thing to do is to do a nose, and to do something up here on the top. I'm not sure what I'm going to put up there, but not even sure. We'll see in the next video. Okay, I thought I'd show you what it looks like so far. My husband swears that my chicken looks like an owl. So now I'm perplexed whether to do some kind of a nose and a head like a chicken, or to make a nose for an owl. So anyway, what I ended up doing was, before he came home and told me this, I cast on my needles. I was using size 8. By the way, when I did the hat, I started with the 6, and then when I got near, when I finished the brown and started the hay, I switched to a size 8. I forgot to tell everybody that. And anyway, so what I did was, using 3 of the 4 double point needles, I cast on 18 stitches, and I put 6 on each of the 3 needles, and I knitted one row, and then the next row I knitted 8, and then I decreased by doing 2 stitches together. Wait a minute, so I knit 8, and then I did 2 stitches together, and then I knit another 8, and then 2 stitches together. And so the next row I would have knit, and then the next row decreased, and I decreased all the way down because I was thinking that I wanted this, flat, but then I thought I'm going to fill it with some stuffing and attach it. And then he came home and said, "Oh, you made an owl." And I said, "No, I made a chicken." So this is my nose, and I don't know whether to put it up there, which makes it look really weird, or what. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it, and then stuff it, and then show you what it looks like. But so it's got owl eyes with what I thought was a chicken nose, but anyway, it looks kind of corny, doesn't it? So my sister is just going to have to live with it. And I'm thinking about just adding some foo-foo stuff to the top of the hat. So anyway, I will let you know what it looks like when it's done. So this is my chicken that turned into an owl hat. Okay, I'll stop laughing now. Well, now that I'm looking at this yellow nose, it looks too much like the straw of the hat up here. So I'm going to go ahead, I guess, and make an orange nose. And I don't care if it is an owl or a chicken. She's stuck with it. Okay, so I thought I'd show you how to do a few rounds of this. So we're going to cast on long tail, and we're going to put 6 on each needle, 6 stitches. So we got 6 on this one. I grab the next one. I just pull it tight enough that they're near each other, and it'll work out just fine. Here's the next one. And I think I've cast on a little bit too tight, but okay. Anyway, lay them out, and I always make sure that they are all facing the same direction. Let me get my yarn over here. Because you want the seam portion to be facing all toward the center. Okay, so now that I got this on, and they're not together yet, by the way. I am going to get my extra needle here, slide the portion that has your very first stitch that needs to join to this one, and insert your needle in that one, push it up toward the tip, holding in your right hand. I always go ahead and use the long tail just so that I can, I won't have to weave it in at the end. But, I mean, granted it's going to be inside, but for the first one I always do it at least. And we're going to just knit. And we'll knit the second stitch. I'm probably off camera. Hang on one second. We'll get back on camera. Okay. So it's up to you how long you want to do both of the, what is it called, both of the strings, yarn, whatever, but I'm going to do it for a few here, and then I'll stop doing it, and I will just go back to one yarn. So you want to drop the one that is the short end, Let me get it out of the way so that I'm only using the regular yarn that comes from the ball. Okay, we've finished that portion. Now let's go to the next needle. Grab the empty needle. Okay, we've got one more side of the nose to go. Let's go back to the needle. Okay, once I get all three sides done, I usually go ahead and add a beginning of the round marker. And you really need to do that if you're like me, you know, can never remember which side you're on, you know. I set my projects down and walk away, and I never know if I'm at, you know, the middle of a side or what. Okay, so we've finished. This needle right here is the next one we're getting ready to do. You can see that I have all these extra, I did 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are showing that it has 2 stitches. So let's see if I've got a yarn, a marker. I really don't. I mean, I've got one right here that's probably going to break. For some reason, these ones that are shaped kind of like a safety pin always break on me because I guess I'm too hard on them. Anyway, I'm just going to slip it in here after I knit this stitch so that I can leave it in there and place the whole round. I need to pause a second. Okay, while I was paused, I went ahead and cut the tail that goes, that's the short end, and I found a stitch marker, so I will use it after I've done this first side. And all we're going to do this round is knit all the stitches, but I'm going to insert a stitch marker just so that I know where stitch number 9 is. And by the way, earlier when I was telling you that how to do this piece, I was saying on round 1 that I knit 8 and then knit 2 together. No, it was knit 7 and then 2 together, then knit the next round. So that was kind of stupid of me. Okay, so this is the first side. I always use a marker, and since you can't put a marker at the end to slide off, I'm just going to go ahead and mark any stitch on this side so I know. Come on, Donna. So I know where the beginning side is. Okay, so go to the next side. Always put those stitches in the middle. So that's stitch 7, stitch 8, and stitch 9. And then we will add a stitch marker. I'm just going to add one that we slip on. Get that out of the way. Trying to keep it in camera at times when I can't see on the other side of the camera drives me nuts. Okay, we are at the end of this round. Let me get the stitch over the end of the needle here because it slipped off. There we go. We're back at the beginning side. So we'll start our decrease round. You can either do them at the beginning or the end, right before your stitch marker. Maybe I will do it at the beginning so that I always know and don't have to shift around so much. Okay, so instead of just doing it through one stitch, instead of going knit to 2 before the stitch marker and then decreasing and then knitting 2 knitting until we get to the end, which would be, you know, back at the beginning here, I think I will just go ahead and knit at the beginning, knit 2 together. Okay. And then we just knit to the stitch marker. And then when we get to the stitch marker, we know it's the stitch after this first white stitch marker that we are going to decrease 2 together. I think it looks like I split my yarn. I'm going to slide off that little piece. Put my yarn back on. There we go. Sorry, I'm at a weird angle here with the camera. We'll slip the marker, and then we're going to knit the first 2 together. And knit again. Let me grab the marker, the needle that I tossed aside. Oop, I did it again. That very last one, I didn't do the whole stitch. There we go. Alright, now we're back on our beginning side. So every other round, you knit. So we would knit every stitch during this next round, and then the next round we will decrease the first 2 stitches again, and just continue the same type of a pattern. When I did this, I did it all the way till I had very, very few. I can't remember how many, but a lot of people might stop when they have like 8. I think I just kept going and going until I hardly had any. And then I cut the yarn and threaded it through the few I had and put it through the tip and pulled it through. Then I wove it in and out around in here just so that it would secure it. So that's what we're going to do. When I show you again, I will have an orange nose. Okay, well, I've attached the nose, and I've got the 2 eyes on, and I got the hay, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that the hat is turned so that the handle is here, and, you know, the hat is like that. Or if it's supposed to be on this side. I don't know. I don't care. I just think that it's cute and stupid looking and funny, and it's functional. So, if anyone wants to do it, the video is going to be out there, but I'm not going to write up a pattern for it. I might put some foo-foo up here, but it, to me, is done. So, enjoy, everyone. Okay. Okay, I wanted to show everyone what I ended up doing for the top here. What I did was I took this With Love yarn from Red Heart, and I double-stranded a berry red and pumpkin and chain 10, and then did a single crochet. I skipped one chain, did a single crochet in the next stitch, and then I did 2 single crochets in the rest of the stitches back to the beginning, and then I did it again for the second, third, and fourth. So I chain 10, skip one chain, and then put one single in the top one, and then 2 singles in each chain all the way to the base, and then did it again and again. Then I just slip stitched across to the edge all the way to the front, finished off, and then I just attached it to the center of the hat. And these little curly cues stand up, and I just think it's cute. I don't care if she thinks it's a dodo bird or an owl or a chicken. And this is to my wonderful sister Kathy, who lives in Texas, and I hope she appreciates it and enjoys it as much as I did making it. And I hope that some of you will make one of your own and send me some pictures. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.